Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some more leaks to go over for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, more information about Paradox forms, also a little bit of information about the new Steel type TERA hat as well. So plenty of stuff to talk about today. If you are excited for the video though, as always, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on anything we cover in today's video. Subscribe if you're brand new for daily Pokemon content. Ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, the first thing that we're going to be taking a look at is this thread by Riddlerku talking about new facts for the Paradox Pokemon. So, the first fact that we kind of already knew was that they're all going to be dual types, and I think that's something that Kaka posted a while ago. These are all of the confirmed Paradox forms for Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. The top row is Scarlet, the bottom row is Violet, of course, all version exclusive as well. We have Paradox Amoonguss, Jigglypuff, Misdreavus, Volcarona, Salamence, Donphan, Magneton, and then potentially a DLC Paradox version of Suicune, and they are all exclusive to Scarlet. And then for Violet, we have Paradox Delibird, Gallade, Hariyama, Volcarona again, Tyranitar, Donphan again, Hydreigon, and Virizion as well, potentially for the DLC. And the types that we are sure about are that Paradox Misdreavus is going to be Ghost Fairy, Paradox Salamence is going to be Dragon Dark, Paradox Gallade is going to be Fighting Fairy, and then Paradox Hydreigon is going to be Dark Flying. So those are all of the new Paradox forms. Shout out to Makio and J Roses for this image. So that's the first kind of fact. The second fact is in like a different language, so I had to translate that. But this one is iron is not iron. So basically what he's saying here is that they basically look steel type, but they're not going to be. I mean, that's kind of what everyone's really coming to the assumption of. So this is great actually. My concern before was future forms will be awful because they must be a steel type, but Game Freak is innovating with electric, also poison, dark, waste, nuclear, bioweapons, etc. They're thinking outside of the box. It's weird to understand, but they look like steel types but aren't actually. So I think that's just kind of what people are getting at. So obviously they're all going to look like steel types because they're all going to look futuristic and stuff because they're like a future version of themselves. So for example, if we take Volcarona, like this is obviously all fan art and stuff, but obviously in this image here Volcarona looks very futuristic compared to the prehistoric version. So yeah, it's going to look like a steel type, but the cool thing is they're not all steel types. So again, that was a bit of a worrying idea that they were all going to be steel type, but don't worry, they're not going to be steel type. The third fact is that ancient is not fire. So what he's talking about here is that none of the prehistoric Pokemon, I don't know why that was so difficult for me to say then, none of the prehistoric Paradox Pokemon are fire type. So Magneton is not going to be fire type, Amoonguss is not going to be fire type, Jigglypuff's not going to be fire type. Of course, we already know that Miss Magius is. The reason that this fighting type is kind of blacked out is because that's likely going to be the typing, but we're not 100% sure. But either way, he's saying here that no prehistoric Paradox Pokemon are going to have the fire type. So that's that fact there, and I think people are kind of also kind of talking about that as well. You know, saying none of the ancient Paradox forms are fire type. So yeah, that's that. And then the fourth fact is that it just says 17. So 17 could mean a number of things, but people have kind of come to the idea that it means that basically every typing is going to be used in some way, shape, or form in the Paradox forms. So every type but normal is covered at least once among the Paradoxes. You know, exactly, I assume the number of types that have at least one Paradox. So no normal type among all of them, which is fun because normal type is a little bit boring. So I'm quite glad that that's the typing that isn't going to be in the Paradox forms. And then also the fifth fact is Riddlerku saying all keep original type. That's all. Now you can get all Paradox types via deduction. Enjoy. So yeah, all of the Paradox forms keep an original typing. So of course, Pokemon like Volcarona is Bug Fire. And so we know that it can't be fire type because none of the prehistoric Paradox forms are fire type, so it has to have the bug typing, and then obviously we know that it could potentially be fighting. So yeah, all of these forms have at least one of their original typings, and of course they were all going to be dual type as well, we know that. So from that information we can just kind of, obviously we don't have the ideas yet and people will have to think about it and stuff, but we now have the information to kind of come up with the idea on what all of these different typings are going to be for the Paradox forms for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So the cool thing is that all of them are going to have like one of the typings at least, barring normal, which is obviously really, really cool for I guess differentiating them and stuff. But yeah, the idea that they're all going to obviously have like one of the typings, I like it. I like that idea a lot. Again, when it all gets kind of broken down and stuff, we'll probably cover it in a video. But again, it'll be a couple days before people kind of like work it all out. But we're very close now to what all the Paradox Forms typings are going to be, and they haven't even been introduced to us yet. And I don't even know if they're going to get introduced to us before the games come out. Like, we've got one more big trailer most likely before Scarlet and Violet drops, which is probably going to be the first week of November, which is next week, if not definitely the week after. And I feel like in that trailer they're going to reveal like star evolutions, and there's still a lot of other stuff that they still need to reveal, like the gym leaders. We've only been introduced to like one Team Star boss. We've only been introduced to one Titan as well, I do believe. So there's a lot of stuff that we haven't been introduced to. But I mean, in the final trailer, if it was me, I'd probably reveal starter evolutions like the middle stages and Paradox Forms, because Paradox Forms is going to be a massive part of the game. And if they hide this, I guess if they hide it and you've not been following the leaks, then it is going to be a really cool surprise. But yeah, it's just weird that they haven't revealed this. But hopefully over the next couple of days, we do finally find out all of the typings of the Paradox Forms for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. We also have Riddler Q saying here, you know, repeating again, it's so unfair that none of the past Paradox Forms are fire. This group got shafted compared to the other. So what he's saying here is that, like, this kind of collection of Paradox Forms just isn't as good as this. I mean, I don't obviously I've not seen the designs and stuff like that, so maybe he's using that as kind of inspiration for that tweet and stuff. But Pokemon like Salamence, Volcarona, Suicune, like, they are really cool Pokemon. I'm sure Magneton's going to look really good as well. I don't think they got shafted in terms of like fire types, because a lot of people are going to choose Fuecoco, a lot of people are going to have Ceruledge or Armarouge, so you're already going to have like a fire type in your team, so it's not necessarily a bad thing that none of the Scarlet Paradox Forms have the fire type. Because you don't really want a whole team, unless you're doing like a mono run, kind of like overlapping with types and stuff. You want all the variety. But yeah, I don't know. He's just said that. People replying, you know, since there is this fiery difference, Fire Ox is Scarlet exclusive, while Water Ox version exclusive. Paradox Volcarona is Scarlet bug fighting, while Paradox Volcarona is Violet is fire poison. Again, that's not been confirmed, but it's very likely that that is going to be the case. So those are the leaks for the Paradox Forms. Moving on to the new TERA hat for the Steel type. We have Riddler Q saying Steel Terrestrial Hat speculation time Halloween version. Now, of course, we've only been introduced to a few TERA hats so far. I think we've seen water, fire, grass, ghost, flying, normal, and I think that's it. I don't think we've seen any more than that. Oh, we also saw like the poison one that's been leaked. Obviously, that's like the big kind of like skull and crossbones thing. But here he's basically saying which one of these is going to be the Steel hat. So one of these images is going to be the Steel hat for the terrestrializing, well, yeah, when you become a Steel type. So this first image, we have a screw going through a skull. Of course, it's Halloween themed, hence like the skull and stuff. The second one is a guy with a hammer in his head. So I don't think you have to take notice of like the person or like the item or whatever. You're just kind of talking about the steel thing. So yeah, we have the screw there. We have an axe. We have a wrench on a person's head, and then we also have a hammer on a person's head as well. So the Steel type TERA hat is either going to be a hammer, a wrench, a axe, or a whatever, this a screw thing, or a bolt, whatever you want to call it. So they are the options. I personally think it's just going to be the screw. Like, I don't think they're going to have a literal axe going into a Pokemon's head for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, even though apparently there's going to be like a murder and stuff in this game. I don't think they're going to have an axe in a Pokemon's head. Also, when I think of Steel, I don't really think of an axe. That's like the last thing out of all these four things that I'd kind of compare with Steel. I just think it's going to be this thing, this bolt, or the whatchamacallit, the screw. We also have a wrench as well. I mean, I guess you could compare that with like Steel. The same with a hammer, but these are kind of like all just tools. Like the hammer, the wrench, and the axe, they're like tools that you use for things. Whereas I guess the screw could also be used as a tool, but it's more for like, I don't know, keeping things in place like that are metallic and stuff. So I potentially think it's going to be the screw for the Steel TERA hat. But again, you're going to have Pokemon like Magnemite that are then going to terrestrialize, and they're going to look weird with like screws coming out of them with like magnets and everything. Also, as well, it's going to be weird for Pokemon that have like two heads, like Zweilous, for example. When they terrestrialize, are they going to have like multiple hats or just one? again, a question that is probably going to get answered when the games drop. But either way, those are all of the latest leaks for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet in terms of Paradox forms and I guess this new TERA hat. So yeah, hopefully this does hopefully this gets broken down soon and we can finally figure out like all the typings and stuff for the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Paradox forms. It'd be kind of crazy if they did all get dropped before the actual Paradox forms were announced, which would be insane. And again, it could be. I think it's only going to take like 1 or 2 days for everybody to kind of crack this down. But either way, let me know what your thoughts on all of the Paradox stuff, and then also, what do you think that the Steel TERA hat is going to be? Again, I'm saying it's the Screw, but again, it could be any of these. But yeah, the Screw just seems the most likely. But yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed. Let's try it at 500. Again, leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. It's everything from me, though. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.